Hello, welcome to my channel besties. If you're into K-pop you will definitely be aware of some opinions that K-pop stans throw around all the time. Some of these opinions can make a lot of sense, but others really don't. And today I will be talking a bit about those opinions that are pretty common in the K-pop community but that don't really make any sense. Now let's begin. This idol is ugly, untalented and useless, but no hate though. Don't be saying shit like, I think this idol is ugly, but I'm not trying to offend anybody. This is just my opinion. Oh please fuck off. Saying no hate though after an insulting opinion isn't gonna make it okay. What if I saw someone in the street and said, well, I think you're pretty fucking ugly, but no offense, I'm not trying to insult you or anything. This is only my opinion. You all be saying, this idol didn't deserve to debut. No hate though. This idol is untalented and useless but no hate. I find this idol pretty annoying but I didn't mean it as an offense. It's just an opinion. Like fuck off. You are allowed to have opinions but there's a thin line between having an opinion and being an asshole. And if you're gonna be an asshole then just admit it. Don't try to find excuses. I want more groups to debut with a sexy concept. I've lost count of how many times I've heard K-pop stans saying they want to see girl groups doing the sexy concept because they miss the good old days. Like, are you absolutely crazy? These new groups be debuting with all minors and you want the sexy concept? Not to mention that quite a few second-gen girl groups have openly talked about how they were exploited and forced to do sexy concepts by the companies just to sell more. Of course there are girl groups that like doing the sexy concepts and want to do it because they're confident in their bodies. But we've heard of so many girls that were forced to do it and had no choice. So I'm honestly not dying for this concept to make a comeback, especially considering that nowadays basically every group debuts with at least a minor, so it's a big no from me. This idol looks so healthy and cute now that they gained weight. If an idol is thick, or if they gained weight, some K-pop stans will say things like, oh my god they look so healthy, they look so cute now that they gained weight, and I'm just like, this is sounding like a backhanded compliment to me, because why do you feel the need to point out the fact they gained weight? Why can't you just shut up and stop making comments? I'm sure most people mean well, and have no bad intention, but what if you were that idol? What if you saw people online talking about how cute you look now that your cheeks became chubby? Like, I'm sorry but shut up. Maybe that idol isn't happy about gaining weight and seeing this stuff online is just making them sad. You never know what idols are going through when it comes to weight, so it's better if you avoid making comments on their bodies. The rap was unnecessary. I'm sorry, but then what are the rappers fucking supposed to do? You all want them to have 0 lines or what? Obviously there are rappers that can also sing, but other rappers are pretty bad vocalists and having rap parts in the songs is the only way for them to get lines. So it's pretty stupid saying the rap was unnecessary. It might be objectively unnecessary but it's still necessary so that the rappers can get their lines. Or maybe you just want them to step aside and act as backup dancers only. You tell me. This song was just bad. Well bestie, it was terrible for you, not necessarily for everyone else. I don't know who needs to hear this, but not everyone in the world shares the same opinion as you. If you hated a song that's okay. There are so many songs I cannot tolerate, but how can you say something was objectively bad if music taste is subjective? No bestie, NCT's sticker wasn't terrible. I liked it. Many other people liked it too, and if you hated it then fair enough. But just because you disliked it doesn't mean the song was bad. When are you all gonna learn that some people have different opinion from yours? Korean stans are worse than international stans. I think this is a myth. It's not true at all but some of you keep on pushing this narrative in order to make yourselves look like better fans, as if Korean stans were so terrible compared to you. Many international stans say that Koreans criticize idols more when it comes to weight for example, but I think this is bullshit. Because as much as weight is a very big deal in Korea, I've seen idols being body shamed from international stans just as much as Korean stans. I've seen Western stans fat shaming and also skinny shaming idols countless of times. Dating scandals are also a topic of discussion. And yes, international stans tend to accept dating more, but there are so many international stans who straight up bullied idols out of jealousy because they were dating their bias. Also, international stans are usually the ones who always bring up attitude scandals and will start spreading false rumors about an idol being mean and rude, saying how they supposedly disrespected another idol and things like that, literally trying to ruin an idol's reputation on purpose. So overall this narrative about Korean stans being monsters is getting old. Dreamcatcher, Mamamoo, 17. Oh my girl are underrated. All I can say is, fuck off. You clearly have no fucking idea what underrated even means, and the amount of people that consider these groups underrated is astonishing. I thought by now you would stop with this narrative, but I was wrong. Someone still thinks groups like Mamamoo and 17 are underrated. Like who's gonna tell them that their faves are pretty famous and have big fandoms? If you say these groups are underrated then I think you have actually never stanned an underrated group in your life. I swear for some of you every group that is not as popular as BTS is underrated. this group fell off. You will say this even after just one comeback that didn't do as well as the others. Most of the groups you claim fell off are actually too big to fail. Just because aespa's girls didn't do as well as Next Level and Savage, it doesn't mean they fell off. They're literally one of the biggest groups right now. Just because you didn't like sneakers, it doesn't mean it's fell off. They will continue being one of the top 4th gen groups. I swear you're also overdramatic. A group can't fall off after having only one comeback that wasn't that well received. I mean, if a group is super successful and then they end up being forgotten and considered as one-hit wonders, then I guess you can say they ultimately fell off. But basically none of the groups you're claiming fell off actually did. Blackpink don't want to make music. I'm sorry, but how do you know? I've heard so many people saying that Blackpink don't want to be idols and they're responsible for the lack of comebacks. But this is nonsense. How can you know what they really want? If any other group comes back rarely, you scream about mistreatment from the company. But if it's Blackpink, then it's the girl's fault. Like what the hell? Make it make sense. You don't know them personally. Stop assuming things. I've literally never seen any other group receiving this kind of judgment. I've never seen a group with non-frequent comebacks being accused of being lazy and not wanting to be idols. And it's sad that a lot of you just assume Blackpink don't give a fuck about their idol career. The process to become idols is long and extremely difficult. It's tiring both mentally and physically, and I'm sure the girls wouldn't have gone through so many years of training if they didn't have the passion for music. Okay guys, these were some pointless opinions the K-pop stans always throw around, but as you can see, they don't make any sense. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments section. With that being said, thank you for watching. Bye besties.